We're gonna get you in here. Says you're invited. There you are. We got you.
Hello. I was in there. I don't know what happened. I had to leave, come back. I don't know what's going on.
Do you know what it is? So this is my first time doing it on the computer with
Oh,
the new
okay.
update, and it's set up very different. So now you don't get added automatically. I've got to add you up to the stage
Okay.
and things like that.
All right.
I'm just adding in.
Oh, I got your iMessage from your Hotmail.
I did what I could. I did what I could.
All right. All right.
It's pre-show. It's pre-show. I cannot wait for them to add the screens back in because I like having
I
the
know.
screens added.
I do too.
So I think that helps when you come into a stream and you're like, okay, I can kind of see where we are. Hello, Hunt,
Right.
Cruz, and Hugh
Hello. Hello. Mr. Josh, fresh from the Caribbean. Good morning.
from Cruz Vember, if I recall right.
Josh, I love you dearly,
Angel
buddy, but
Pan.
we're going to have to work on your messaging. Hey,
Oh,
at least it's
no.
not as bad as the Ducks.
That is true. That is true. The good old ducks.
I
Jason loves the ducks.
I hate the Ducks. Sorry for the unusual bunker appearance here. I am at my best friend's house for the week. The house and dog.
Oh, I didn't realize you were here. You didn't tell me you arrived.
My best guy friend. Um, yeah, I'm downstairs in your bunker.
Tony's in here. Beach Bum Dave's in here.
Dog sitting's fine. I threw all three dogs in the other room and shut the door. Hopefully, they're not destroying. They're fine. They're probably already all asleep. Yeah, Father.
Father, Son, and House of Gucci.
I cannot believe I've not seen that movie yet.
I know. I do. I might do that this weekend. Olivia goes to her dad's, and I'm thinking that would be a. Let's see. Tip your camera up, Haley. Top of your head's cut off.
You'll be
Okay.
fine on my end, but
That's what I'm saying is the orientation is different, I think, for everybody. And I have to actually charge my keyboard while we do this broadcast. That just reminded me. It's a rough day here. Lots of stuff going on. Kathleen's here. JJJ. Hello, hello. My hair's fluffy.
I'm excited to see Miss Kathleen on Saturday.
Well, you should be.
So it's kind
I'm
of
so
wild.
jealous.
Like I have a suitcase out here that I've been here for a week. I have to go home. I just thought about this. Go home, laundry, and just the head out again.
I know, I'm having this weird moment. Oh, this app looks different, Jason. I just got the notification for my flight for tomorrow. And I mean, it's being weird, but like, look at it, looks different. It's kind of
Oh
like,
yes. There was a recent update.
huh. It's so weird that I'm just like flying tomorrow for the day.
Hey, I like it.
It's kind of one of those things that's like, I don't really need to pack anything. I just need
I mean,
to grab my purse.
I've only flown like that like once, and it was so nice. Like you just like go to the airport, go to secure. Like it's nice.
Well, there's one first class seat on my first flight tomorrow remaining, and I'm at the top of the list.
I mean, just wait till all the diamonds check in.
There's not a ton of diamonds here, but then again, if it's business travel, that's where you get a little. My flight home, I'm already upgraded to first class. That happened a few days ago.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mhm.
Good.
I almost
If
get
you haven't
annoyed.
gotten it now, it makes me always nervous. But they know who's on the flight. Like they know who's booked.
I know, and it just gets your hopes up for nothing.
I
especially for you.
do. Going through Atlanta, you're saying
Oh
it's
my God. I will never forget that moment in my life. And I mean, because I travel Delta pretty extensively. You know, Detroit's a hub, like you have
yeah,
JFK, um, Seattle. Like I've gone to
right.
some hubs, but man, when it's Atlanta, I will my upgrade odds just go down the drain. Brian's here.
You know what? I just realized. Hold on. Let's see. Are my AirPods connecting? This
I think
stupid
it sounds
app.
like they
Hold
are.
on. There we go. Can you hear me a little better now?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were fine before, but
Oh, believe it, or not, I was sitting here just talking and realized I was on the Mac microphone and not the AirPods. So I guess kudos, the Mac mic is not awful. While we have a few
so,
more minutes for the
do
top of
you
the
know
hour for
do you know
Thanksgiving.
something else I noticed too is if you are somebody that likes watching YouTube and you like watching streams and you're having a hard time navigating today in travel streams here on Haps, if you, if you go search hashtag today in travel on YouTube, it pulls our broadcast, it pulls Galveston Steve's, it's pulled Jarvis's, anybody that has YouTube connected, so you can search the hashtag on YouTube.
Mm. How was your Thanksgiving?
Um, I kind of hate Thanksgiving to a degree. I love the cooking and I loved spending time with my family, but because it's a partial week, you're doing
Right.
all this work in
Right.
a partial week, cooking and stuff. And it was just kind of wild. Made way too much food, but I froze up my turkey to use for soups and stuff later on through the winter, all domesticated. How was your Thanksgiving, Jason?
Calm. It was the first year I did basically nothing. Was I was headed down here Thanksgiving night and hung out with my friends, helped them do last minute packing for their honeymoon. So it was very calm. No
That's what makes things so
drama, no.
good.
It was nice. It was so nice. I really really I enjoyed it.
Well, then I also did the thing. So it's like, we cooked this whole meal. I did try something different. We ate in the evening
Okay.
versus at like noon. And I will say that was great because then I could make like, a little breakfast pastry in the morning. Then we just kind of did like a grazing table around lunchtime. Because a lot of the times, like when I do it with my in laws, there's all these appetizers out, and then we're eating at noon. And you just have
Right.
like no room to eat, and then you're stuffed and tired. But I actually liked that, but I did wake up early so I could upgrade my dad's phone and mine.
It's a Festivus miracle. Denise Pointer said she's on apps. Actually, Denise, I was just about to tell Haley that there has been a request for us to do some HAPS tutorials. So maybe we can work that in eventually. But it's a festive.
I think that makes sense. And after we get through the holiday season, I actually asked one of the HAPS people one point in time if they could join you and I on a broadcast
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that.
for our community, which I think is great.
Yeah. All right. Well, Haley, it is top of the hour. We could talk about HAPS and the issues for the entire show, but we have content
I
to
know.
discuss. This is Today in Travel, the first of many holiday editions. I am Jason Poole. I'm a travel advisor with Cruise Planners, which is an American Express travel representative. I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location. So the lighting's a little off, angles are off. My apologies for that. But we're still here to give you all things travel, cruising, flights, hotels, resorts, land trips. My partner in crime, the travel queen herself. Good morning, Haley. How are you?
I feel like I need a crown now. I am great. And you guys, thank you so much for joining. Just like Jason said, My name's Haley. I own a hotel sales support company and I am a travel blogger. Been in this industry for 14 years and I love all sorts of travel, be it Europe cruising. Jason, our Venn diagram crosses over, I think, quite frequently. That middle
Yes,
section's pretty big. Um, but yeah, so let's get it started. There's
a lot to discuss.
a lot
So
to discuss today. And I think
the
I'm going to actually start with what I did because it leads into the first topic.
okay, go.
Are you okay with that?
I am. Go ahead.
So, for those of you that have watched for a while, I have or had a trip scheduled to London for Christmas through New Year's. Like, leave here Christmas Eve, fly home New Year's Day, a full week. And the UK announced that you now have to self quarantine no matter where you come from until your
Vaccinated,
day,
even if you're vaccinated.
even if you're vaccinated, until you get your day two test. So for me, I decided to move that trip to February. Already did it. I actually got a better hotel with my Marriott employee rate. Um, so that's all set. But I didn't move my trip because of the new variant. I moved my trip because based on the holidays and this day two test, it was going to eat up 3 days of my trip. And I wasn't going to spend
Right.
that kind of money because London is very, very expensive.
Right.
Even with my employee rates, it's going to
You
be
don't want to spend
expensive.
you don't want to spend 2 days sitting in a hotel. So I get it, right? So if you are living under a rock, Haley is talking about the new restrictions for the new the new COVID variant, Omicron. So it's spreading through Africa. It's already starting to show up in Europe. It's probably only a matter of time before it comes to the States. So a lot of countries, including the United States, are implementing some new travel restrictions. And the UK, where Haley was going to do a 2-day quarantine, right?
Yes, and keep in mind when you fly to London in general, the day you get there is day zero.
Right. So even though
So
you
it's
get there
not
at
day one.
9 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, it's day zero.
And another thing to keep in mind is some European countries like the UK, December 26th is a huge day as
Yeah.
well. It's like a
Yeah.
Christmas edition. Like some businesses are still closed. They're still doing, celebrating and whatnot. Like we
Isn't that
found out
called?
with London, December
It's
26th.
isn't
I
that
forget what it's called, but it's a big
isn't
to
it
do.
Boxing Day? Isn't it Boxing Day?
Denise said isn't. I think it might be.
Yeah, I think it's Boxing. Yeah,
Denise said
Boxing
it's
Day.
still,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still in effect. But I mean, it's a big, huge to do. And by the time I would get a test, I wasn't going to. I swear, anytime I'm planning a trip to London, it's just cursed.
Oh.
It's
Well,
been cursed.
lots of countries are doing travel restrictions.
Oh,
So,
Denise, the official announcement hasn't come out. Like Delta's website hasn't changed. Um, but I mean, it's anytime now, so I would make sure they stay on top of that.
yeah. I mean, I think it. I don't know the actual day it's starting. I thought it was immediate, Denise. So I would check with family. So talking about Christmas travel or holiday travel, there was a new survey that came out that said nearly half of all Americans will be traveling during holiday 2021. So it said approximately 12% will fly, 35% will travel 100 miles or more. So, as we have said over and over and over and over again, make sure you are getting to the airports early, especially if you're flying. And look, guys, if you're planning, to go to a Christmas market, going overseas, you need to keep up with these new COVID protocols and restrictions because things are changing rapidly with the new COVID variant news.
And we can actually post this CNN article in the group because it has a list by list of what each country is doing currently.
Correct. I expect that's going to just keep changing. Like I hate to say it, these restrictions are kind of reminding me of the kind of the early days. Like, hey, if we just ban travel from 5 or 6 countries, it'll stop. And look, I mean, the, at least the American government has said that the best way to fight this is if you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, go get your booster. Which now they're recommending it for all adults. So I am now eligible to get my booster shot. You've already got your booster
Yep,
shot,
I've had
right?
mine, and Olivia just got her second shot yesterday.
That's amazing.
And then New York just unveiled that 90% of New York adults have had at least one shot.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
And then
So
the kids are ramping up behind it. So I think that's, it's exciting, but I keep hearing that song Exile by Taylor Swift. I think I've seen this film before, looking at all these travel bans going
I know.
into effect, but you guys just got to stay on top of it. I mean, this is not going to go away. There's going to be mutations, there's going to be
Oh,
variants. That's why this wasn't COVID 1.
right. Right. No, I agree. So if you've been following our show for a while, you know we have been discussing cruising to Key West numerous times, right? So the locals have said no cruise ships. Some local businesses are like, no, we want cruise ships. Some state governments have said you don't control the ports. I mean, it's just been a huge back and forth over can cruise ships go to Key West, Florida. Well, two cruise ships have recently arrived to Key West, the first in 20 months, largely because of COVID, obviously. But they're very small. One was a Crystal ship, and one was an Azamara ship. So I think this will be the future of Key West. Like I've been to Key West on the Equinox, so Solstice class. I don't I don't think we're gonna
It
see
doesn't
those
fit.
types of ships anymore. I mean, I've been there. I mean, it fits. I've been there. But
But just because it fits, I'm talking about when you have that many people coming out onto Key West. Key West itself is
I get
not big, and
right.
I've been there when there's two ships.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's quite a bit. Like you have one ship in the main dock, and then you have one in the
Hmm.
Navy Yard. But I think
Right.
kind of like your Celebrity Summit and under.
Yeah, but even the summit's big compared to that Crystal and Azamara ship.
Well, those are just glorified yachts.
And they are. I mean, you're paying mega bucks to be yes on a glorified yacht. So that will
Ryan doesn't
be.
like it. I love Key West. I love snorkeling in Key West.
I like Key West. I think it's a cute place to walk around. Some of the shops are cute. I mean, I haven't done a ton in Key West, but I do. I've had a great brunch
Yeah.
there.
And the red shrimp at Conch Republic, and of course key lime pie from
Yeah,
Kermit.
I'm not the
The
biggest
best.
key
Don't
lime.
the
I'm
best, and
not
I'll die on that. I will die on that hill right there. Kermit says the
the.
best key lime pie.
Well, we have some exciting news. If you know, Haley and I love talking about credit card hacks and points and redemption and transferring points to vendors. We love playing this, right? I joke
It's
it's a
couponing
video.
for the more, I don't want to say rich because I mean, you don't have to have a ton of money to have a travel credit card, but
No, but I
it's
call it
grown
board
up
games for
couponing.
adults. Grown up
Yeah.
couponing, right? So Capital One is launching its first ever premium travel card called Venture X. So they're trying to get into the Chase Sapphire, American Express Platinum realm. So they're coming in yearly fee $395, so $400. I don't have the Chase one off the top of my head, but I believe that's right at what the
I think
Chase
it's,
Sapphire.
I believe it's 595 is the Sapphire, and
Okay,
then
but
the Platinum is 695 now.
yeah, I knew the Platinum was expensive. So Capital One's doing some interesting things. So a couple months ago, they started opening up Capital One lounges at airports. So this new Venture X card gets you into the airport lounges, the Capital One. They're also getting you a membership with Priority Pass, similar to like what Amex and Chase have. Priority Pass, so that kind of automatically expands the network. What I think is the most exciting news, one, they're giving you a 100,000 mile sign up bonus. And in October, Capital One completely simplified their redemption process. So Capital One, like all the other credit cards, had this like 2.5 miles to one, 3 miles to one, 2 to 1,
Oh yeah.
and it was very confusing. So back in October, they simplified it for almost all of their travel partners with a simple 1 to 1. And there's some nice brands in there, and you can easily transfer your Venture X or any of your Capital One cards actually 1 to 1 from your Capital One account to like Air France, or there's some Wyndham hotel properties in there. So I'm excited for another player in this realm.
Do you know what I think is the other exciting part of this card that it beats the Amex and the Sapphire Reserve on? Is the 2 times miles on everything else.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Because think about it, when you're just, buying something on Amazon, buying something, at a department store,
right,
you're
right,
getting one for one on Amex and the Reserve.
right,
Like,
right.
yes, they have some offers, like where you can like save money sometimes, but that 2 times on everything else, I think, is a standout.
Look, I thought about getting this card. I mean,
I've thought about it.
100,000 miles, 1 to 1 transfer. That's not a bad way to just, quickly throw 100,000 miles into one of their partner accounts.
Well, that
So,
and what's interesting, because you know how American Express, when you have your preferred airline, you get 5 times the rewards. Like if you were to book
right,
Delta through Amex Travel, they're doing 5 times on any flights booked through their portal. And they're doing
right,
10 times on hotels and like rental cars and stuff booked through the portal.
right, right,
I
right.
mean,
Yeah, right, right. And Kathleen brought up a good point. It's not get the card, get 100,000. It is $10,000 in the first
oh, and
six
all these
months. But
on all these cards have that kind of thing. Like
right,
to get my Chase Sapphire points, I had to spend $5,000 or $6,000. But all I did was just take my expenses that I was normally paying on other cards and just
right,
like
right,
I threw my cell phone bill. I threw
right.
whatever I could on that card.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited. Like British Airways is on here, Air Canada, Air France, Aero Mexico, basically every Sky team, but
And for
Delta.
Hertz, it says the President Circle status. What is the Hertz status with
Amex,
Amex? Isn't it only
it's
gold?
gold.
You
It's
guys.
it's only
And the fact that the annual
gold.
fee is only 395 in comparison, because when you figure you do the global entry, there's
Hmm.
110.
Right,
100,000 points are still, or sorry, it's 100, not 110. Those 100,000 points are still worth way more than 295.
right, right, right.
So,
No,
food for thought, everybody.
I
Next
I I
topic,
I I
Jason.
I think I might jump into that card. Okay, question of the day. How do you find last minute travel deals for holidays? So a little bit of background. Haley and I talked on the phone last night for a long time. Told me about her,
Shocking.
we talked about her rescheduling her Paris trip. I mean, her London trip. I'm sorry. And I'm thinking about going somewhere kind of last minute for the holidays. So Haley and I spent a while on the phone last night, like, oh, look at this cruise, look at this hotel, like, how many points is this? So, Haley, what do you think is the best way to score last minute holiday travel deals?
So, there's a couple things on this. My first thing is going to go back to the basic rule of thumb for saving money while traveling. If you're going to save money while you travel, you need to put in the work. It's not going to be
Yes.
spoon fed to you with a banner deal saying, like, oh, save up to 10% on this now. No, you're going to have to dig and you're going to spend a lot of time because if you think about it, the time that, or the money that you're saving is your time. Is in essence you're paying with
Right.
your time instead of money. So keep that in mind. Looking for points options is applicable right now. Like,
Yes.
there's some of the Hyatt, for example, Hyatt all inclusives in the Dominican over that Christmas to New Year's area that are going for $1,200 a night that you can get for 40,000 Hyatt points a night. So if you're a Chase Sapphire person, you can transfer your points to Hyatt and stay on points, and that's a great point value.
Yep.
What about you?
So I think the number one tip to save money is to be flexible on destinations, right? Just because your heart is set on staying at the Park Hyatt in New York City for a week between Christmas and New Year, that's a lot of money. And if you've got it, good for you, right? But if you're like, hey, I'm kind of wanting to save some money, so let's see what Miami looks like during this time, right? Or, wow, the flights to this city are really expensive. What if I looked at flights to Vegas instead? Or to San Diego? Or,
Yeah,
wow.
find an alternative experience. Like if you go on and even Google and just look for, alternative similar
Mhm.
experience to Las Vegas.
Right. I mean, look, I've often said, like, the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar in Nassau is Vegas and the Bahamas, right? So let's say your heart is just set on the Baha Mar, but the prices are outrageous. But there's less hotels there, so there's less competition. You're like, well,
Mhm.
maybe I should just look at actually going to Las Vegas. And wow, there's tons of properties in Vegas. So be a little more
Oh
flexible
yeah,
as
or if
far,
you're somebody that's wanting to do the Winter Mountain Aspen, Colorado thing,
right?
maybe look for a different area like Estes Park.
Right, right, right.
There's
Instead of
lots
go
of alternatives.
right, maybe you don't go to Park City, you go somewhere else. And by the way, I've been to Park City. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is really
Or,
beautiful. So
there's even times like now when it's cooler, like there's areas like near Zion National Park and stuff, like,
mhm.
yeah, you're not going hiking in the water through the Narrows, but you can
Right.
still go experience that. I mean, I remember in November, the first time I went and stayed at that beautiful Hampton that you couldn't believe is a Hampton that's
No.
right at the entry park. The pool and stuff's still open, so it's like this hot springs, like,
Right.
thanks, you can get discounts in those areas. But that, I think is going to lead us to another point coming up here is setting up
I like
Google Alerts.
our travel tip of the day. So, you did a video on this like probably a year or so ago.
And
Tell us what a Google Flight Alert is. What does that even mean?
so I am obsessed with Google Flights. For those of you that have watched this for a while, you know that I am. The thing that I love about Google Flights is if you go to google.com/flights, you can put in multiple departure airports
Hmm.
and arrival airports and search by a calendar so you can see which day of the week might be cheaper for you to fly on if you're flexible. Like if you're going to a cruise out of Miami, do you know what? It might save you $200 flying into Fort Lauderdale
Right, right.
instead, which is wonderful.
And if you,
Um,
by departure ports, departure airport, just so we're clear, you could look at JFK, LGA, or like EWR, right? Like
yeah.
any of the airport, you can put any airports in there. Okay,
So I can
okay,
search EWR, LGA, JFK to FLL or MIA and MIA,
yeah,
pardon me.
yep,
So you can take it a step further and you can set up an alert for a particular flight pattern. Now you do have to narrow it down a bit more. So if you're set like you, I don't want to go to LaGuardia, I don't want to go to Newark, I want to fly out of JFK, JFK to Rome, FCO. You can set
right.
up an alert, and if there is a price drop, it's going to send you an email like, hey,
Love it,
this
love
dropped
it.
by $200 or whichever. Sign up for it and it's free. And the only airline that doesn't really show on there is Southwest.
I mean, who flies Southwest anymore, right?
Honestly, I don't because it's just as expensive and they don't have, first class.
Well, I guess we're not going to talk about me flying Southwest soon. We're going to just
No, we're just gonna
move.
skate over that.
We're just going to skate over it. It was free. It was free. It was free. We're going to skate over it. I like that travel tip. So google.com/flights, set up an flight alert. Okay, that is a good, because I have some European flights coming up next year, and I should start looking at
And I
those
mean,
flights now.
especially if you're somebody that's looking like you want to go somewhere for Christmas and you don't know, plug in your airport. So you could plug in like ROC, your date range, and just type United States and type Europe, and it's gonna pull you over the map and
That's
show you the
amazing.
different price for all the cities. It might be one of my favorite travel tools, and it's free.
Okay, I like it. That is a fantastic trip. Okay, so it's the holiday season.
It is.
What do you want travel wise gift under the tree? So Pam posted in our Facebook group today in travel.live and said, what travel gift do you want under the tree? Haley, what travel gift do you want under your holiday tree?
Does a trip without my family count?
Yes. Look, I just did a solo
Uh,
trip. You just did a solo trip. It was wonderful.
yes, I think I need like a solo redo where I'm not where I'm not working.
That's fair.
But if I could put something under the tree for me, honestly, this year it's probably going to be something that Santa's bringing is better luggage. I need
Oh,
because
okay.
I travel, and it's more expensive than I normally spend on
Sure.
luggage, but I mean between traveling for work, traveling for pleasure and blocking, I'm killing suitcases left and right. So that
Okay.
that is a worthwhile investment that I definitely need to make this year.
Okay. I think
What
that's
about
a
you?
great one. So mine is almost going to be somewhat of a repeat of 2021. So I was lucky enough to visit lots of places for the first time in 2021. I finally made it down to the Southern Caribbean, the ABCs. I've never been down there. Finally made it down there, right? I went to Croatia for the first time. I went to Majorca for the first time. So I got to go to new places, and I love visiting new places. I just love going to places just that aren't the same place over and over and over again, right? So
Yeah,
I
well, you and
love
I had
that.
that conversation last night.
We did.
It's very
We
hard
did.
to spend money on the repeats right
It
now.
is. So 2022, I have lots of trips planned for new places and destinations for the first time, including Alaska, which is our group cruise, and you're dragging me to Alaska, right? So that
Buy your
entire
hair.
that entire trip is going to be a new destination. So my under the tree, I want to go new. Not that saying I won't probably end up in Cozumel or Time or Two in 2022, but let's go to new places, see new parts of the world. And so that's what I want under my tree, just continuing to color in countries on the map that I've never
I'll see if
visited.
I can fit a visa under there
A bit,
for
hey,
you.
I am leaving from Barcelona on July 2nd, Celebrity Beyond.
I feel like that's a destination we need to do together. I mean, we might
Go to
die.
go to a beach. Yeah, yeah.
We might
I,
die, but
I mean,
I feel
that
like
that
we
that
need to.
that would be fun. So awesome. All right. Well, guys, we have a lot of people cruising this weekend. Tons of people, including people in here, are going to be on the Oasis. I am sailing the Celebrity Edge. Get on board on Sunday. Yet another Edge class sailing in the retreat. I'm like, I live. It seems like an Edge
Yeah,
class lately.
yeah.
Um,
I'm sailing the parent teacher conference and Christmas recital,
that's exciting. That's exciting. Yeah. So,
and
yeah.
then
So
JJ Cruise is on the Constellation this week. Actually, I think currently, or
very,
is this weekend?
Very, very nice. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. These holiday editions will be a little lighter. Hopefully, the Omicron news will not dominate for the coming weeks and months. Fingers crossed. And
And then we need to schedule an after hours for this month too.
we do. Absolutely do. Holiday edition. Holiday.
Oh,
Oh,
the
thank you.
bottle award. Thank
Thank you for
you.
the cheers. It's not champagne, but cheers.
My lipstick.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Be safe out there. Happy holidays. And we'll catch you guys next Tuesday. I will be on the edge, and we'll do it there.
Let's hope your Wi-Fi is good.
Ugh. Yes. If not, maybe I'm in a